Good morning. It's Bruce Phares here with Windermere Real Estate in Seattle. It is the 9th of June. It's Tuesday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. I am now also just double checking in on the Dow. Let's take a look at the one day. We had a bit of a drop right out of the chute, a little bit of a recovery, and it's kind of holding right there. Our 5 days looks a lot more positive. Our 6 months show from that point of shelter in place that we've been on a rocky, however, recovery trajectory on that situation. Let's take a look at our interest rates, still down in the low threes, 319 as of yesterday. That was the closeout. These things bop all over the place within a certain amount of numbers. So not that isn't indicative of the entire day, but that's what it closed at. Let's look at our numbers. That's why we are here. Remember, I'm tracking newly actives on market. These are residential properties from 145th in the north end down to Othello in the south end, and then water to water, east to west. Residential only. So pending inspections, pendings, 6-day off markets, those are the ones that go off market within 6 days of hitting the market. And then the total volume of this whole grouping right here of the pending inspections and the 6-day off markets. And then I look at the ratios and I want to see how those pendings are playing against the newly actives. So first of all, we did have some seriously high numbers hit here. And so we'll take a look at it. Our newly actives for the week, we had the high fuchsia being the highest number since shelter in place. So we did have the highest number of 7-day on markets, coming on markets as of Friday, that is. And we have this typical ebb and flow coming up and down and up and down. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday oftentimes is where we see some higher numbers. So we certainly saw that there. However, if you look at 655, which is the highest number for the years, that's what yellow represents. We watched 655 receding back down, and we're at 591. So we're going to see some ratios show that over here. Pending inspections, those properties that go into contract, but still have contingencies, highest volume of those in the total pool. Our actual numbers on the weekly basis here, not all that volatile. But this did push up to 59, and that was a fairly high number, but not the highest for either post shelter in place or for the year. Those pendings, those are those that have done this pending inspection and also done this 6-day off market. So those pendings, highest number for post shelter, 129, and our total then pool is reflecting that as well, highest number for the year. 6-day off markets, this thing really took sort of a lead this week. 84 of them in a 7-day time period. And remember, fuchsia says highest day, highest number, there you go, since post shelter in place. And yellow says highest number for the year for the total pool. And we'll see that in the ratios. I'm going to blow through this because this is just simply showing what we already looked at here. Let's go here. Pendings and pending inspections in relationship to newly actives on a weekly basis, pushing up to 95%. Pendings and pending inspections in relationship to total actives in the pool at 121%. 6-day off markets in relationship to pendings and pending inspections. So how many of these pendings and pending inspections, these guys here, how many of them did that in 6 days or less? 49% of those. So you can see our numbers pushing up from 30 into the 40s and then pushing to 49%. This is probably a surge. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days, but I think we're going to be holding in the mid 40s, which indicates a seller's market. Same thing here for 6-day off markets in relationship to the newly actives in a weekly time frame. 30s pushing back up. You can see the rise taking place. We've got a surge here at 46%. I doubt that this will hold, but it's probably indicating that we're pushing right back around 40%, which again is a seller's market. So that says that 40% of those properties that come on market on a weekly day basis are going off market within 6 days or less. And we know that that means multiple offers. That means competing offers. NWMLS, they have a similar kind of search, and I set up the same sort of geographic. This is for both condos and residential, and their numbers are a little bit more volatile, a little bit more incendiary, I guess is the better phrase. Newly actives at 116. That shows dropping over the last week in terms of newly actives coming on market, which we somewhat see here coming from 208, hitting that number and then back down to 182. Our newly pendings cresting 202, highest number for the year, thus a really high new pending to new active ratio of 174%. So we are basically this last week showing a seller's market with 40% or so, 40 to 50% of those properties that came on market going off market in 6 days or less, indicating multiple offers and competing offers. All right, that's it for this week. Hope you guys are safe, be well, and we'll see you next week.